Hey, as you can see, I'm at the park. It's a cold, brisk day, but I'm prepared. I got my ski coat on, my gloves, my mittens because my hair is in a ponytail, and half the hats don't even fit on my head. But one of the things I wanted to talk about is seasonal affect disorder. It's basically a seasonal depression, and working in mental health, especially when I worked in a mental health facility. That was like one of the biggest topics, and something that I think about is I wonder why. I'm like, okay, I understand that it gets darker outside, right? That's one of the reasons why. Because as it gets dark earlier, our body starts to produce melatonin um, when it gets dark outside. And so you're going to start feeling sleepy. So it's like naturally, due to nature, it's normal to feel more tired during the winter time. But guess what? Sometimes when you're more tired, you need to slow down. And when you look at creation, right? Everything is slowing down. Everything. I remember looking out of the window when I was working from my desk, and I was like, everything looks dead outside, but it was very much alive. And then I did a study on the trees, because if you want to learn some things about us, look at the trees. The Bible always talks about the trees and compares us to trees. And one thing I learned is that trees actually cut off their leaves. They sever them. And it's like, what? I never knew that. I thought it was just something that just happened. They actually make the choice to lose their leaves, to cut them off. And the reason why is so that way they'll be able to get through the winter and maintain their nutrients and maintain water, because they would lose the water out of their leaves if they kept them. They would literally die. They would either freeze, because they would have that open access for that airway to freeze the water, or they just dry out. So I was like, interesting. And so I'm like, are there things that we need to let go of in the summertime? In the wintertime, either fully let go, put down for a season, or just slow down in. And I personally believe that it is not the time to add something new. Like, obviously, if the Father, brings something to your mind, like obviously if you're starting a new job, that's new, right? You might be starting a new semester at school, that's new. But it makes sense, right? But that's really something that you're kind of continuing in. And like, for example, a lot of times people, when the worldly New Year comes in January, people try to be like, oh, I'm starting a new diet, I'm starting this, and I'm going to start working out and getting healthier and all of this. And it's like, do you really have the motivation to do that? You might get all pumped up and fired, but you might not even have the energy for that. At least to that degree. It's like slow and steady. Maybe it's something that you can just add. Well, that's little, where it won't really mess with you or intimidate you or cause you to be overwhelmed to the point where you're like, nope, I'm done with it. Because technically the biblical New Year is in the spring, and honestly that's the best time to really start something new, because it's the spring, it's fresh, you're gonna feel motivated, you're gonna feel energetic. And that basically just leads me to the winter time can get heavy, because all depression is a heaviness that comes over a person. A person has to recognize where the root of that heaviness is coming from, or what things are adding to that heaviness. But During the wintertime, our mood, our body is different from the spring and summer, from fall and winter. And so right now in the fall, we should be transitioning so that way we can prepare for the winter. What is life going to look like in the winter? We cannot keep that same summer and spring energy. You can try, but it might actually cause heaviness because you're literally going against nature. So I just encourage you to actually look up what I shared about the trees. It's really, really cool. And then also think about what you can do now to prepare and help yourself during the winter time. Like there's less sun. Go outside, y'all. I understand people like it's too cold. You don't have to go out long. You have the choice. You can say, I'm going to go outside for 15 minutes, for a 15-minute walk. That's all you need. You need to be like in the sun for about, I think it's like 15 to 20 minutes. Go look that up for sure, for confirmation. But prepare. Dress warm. Make sure you're staying up with your vitamin D. If you're someone that you typically don't take vitamin D like that, maybe you should start looking into it. You want vitamin D3 with K2, so then that way the calcium is absorbed in your body and it's not building up in your body. Magnesium helps with the absorption of vitamin D from the sun and supplements. So a lot of people are magnesium deficient, and magnesium literally is needed for a lot of the things in the body, so that way your body can function properly. So look into that. There are different types of magnesium, but you got this. You can do the research. It's okay. You know how to read. You know how to Google. You got this. Stay hydrated. Make sure you're eating well. Are you eating properly? And I don't even mean make sure you have this, make sure you have that. Are you actually having a good, stable meal? We just keep things simple. Are you actually having a meal that you can sit down and enjoy? Or are you just nitpicking here, nitpicking there, nibbling on this, and then at the end of the day, you're like, I haven't eaten anything, and then you realize that's why you're crabby. That causes heaviness too in the body. If you're not eating correctly, you got to be able to nourish yourself so that way you have energy to move throughout the day. Obviously, yes, you want to have your fresh fruits, and vegetables and things like that, because it's very hydrating for the body. And when I say vegetables, I mean the vegetables that are considered veggies, but they're actually fruit, like cucumbers, peppers, squash, because you can eat raw squash. If you chopped it up in a salad. I know salads are, they're cold, but even if you made a bowl, there's different things that you can play around with. Sometimes during the winter, I don't make, I'll do leafy greens here and there, but I'll make a salad without the greens. Literally, I'll just put all the veggies in it. And let's see what else. I talked about hydration. Herbal tea, y'all. Herbal tea. There's a lot of different herbal teas that'll help with your build your immune system. You got dandelion. Roasted dandelion is bomb. So delicious. You have nettle. It helps with iron. Let's see. You have elderberry tea, elderberry syrup. Get your shot of elderberry syrup at www.enticerenew.com. And then also sea moss as well. You need to get your sea moss for some energy. That's also at www.enticerenew.com. I got you. What else? Colloidal silver. That helps take it, taking that for, your immune system. Let's see. I'm over here off the top of my head. Yeah. Getting good rest. Getting good sleep. Are you sleeping well? Are you listening to your body when you're asleep? When you're tired, or are you forcing yourself to stay up? These are different things to think about. And if this sounds overwhelming, take a deep breath, take a step back, and maybe just for the time being, observe yourself. Observe what is actually happening. If you're cranky or you're moody and you're like, this doesn't make sense, really think about how you nurtured yourself throughout the day, because sometimes that's the actual issue. It goes back to nurturing ourselves. When these trees let go of their leaves, when they choose to sever them, they're nurturing themselves because they want to thrive. They don't just want to survive, they want to be able to thrive. And these trees be thriving. Now, they look like they be struggling, but they don't. So, but yeah, so I just wanted to share that, because those are things that can help. Because even when it comes to heaviness, like with this whole like seasonal depression thing, it's like there might be more. There could be more. There could be, like some spiritual aspects as well, but that's a whole other conversation. Hello, little one. Hi, mama. Oh, baby girl is up. Well, we're gonna start heading back home soon, okay? My little friend. Yeah, we outside kids, okay? We are outside. We are outside. Trio is what we do. So yeah, may that bless you. If you have any questions, post it in the comments, email me, find me on social media. Y'all know how to do that. So yeah, y'all be blessed, and remember that the joy of y'all is your strength.